Hey guys, Mamie here with OneJoyousSkip.com, and I am doing another project for Sweet Stamp Shop today using some of their new release stamps and combining those with some of their older sets as well. And this stamp set is so cute. Everybody knows I love succulents, so I'm excited to play with that. And then I'm using the coordinating dies as well to go along with that stamp set. And I will have all the stamp sets listed down below in the description box. So look down there where you can find it and pick one up for yourself. So I'm going to start by stamping out the images using some VersaFine Onyx black ink, and I'm going to be stamping on some Bristol Smooth cardstock. And that Bristol Smooth cardstock is really great for doing watercoloring with like distress markers, which I'm going to be using today, Tombow markers, Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. They work really great for all of these different watercolor tools. So I'm going to use my distress inks today, because my distress ink markers, because I have a lot of them in a really light color and I wanted to get a really light effect on this card, just a soft kind of effect. And this is called the Merry Cactus set, the one that has all of the different cactuses, and actually it doesn't have any succulents, I don't think. They're just cactuses. But I love succulents, and I think they're pretty much kind of, resemble each other, and you can mix succulents and cactuses together very well. So my point is, this is a great set, and it's not just for Christmas. You can use it for any time of the year. And so I decided to mix it with some of the happy birthday stamp sets to make a card for a birthday card, or rather a celebration card. I usually put celebrate on there. That way, if I need it for something similar to a birthday, but not necessarily a birthday, if it says celebrate, then you can use it for just about anything. So that's a little tip for you guys for in the future. And so, if you use the happy birthday, you can use it, but you can also use it for more things if it says celebrate. And so there's a stamp set that has the word celebrate, so I decided to use that one in there. And so as you can see here, it's very simple. I'm just going along in the darker areas with my marker, and then I'm taking my water brush and pulling that color out. And I've talked about this before in other videos, to make sure that you do not get the paper too wet, because it can start to pill up on you. And so you just want to pull that color out just a bit. The Bristol paper can take more abuse than like regular paper, but at the same time it still isn't really meant for watercoloring, so you need to be a little bit more careful when you're pulling that color out. So here I'm using just some light colors to finish off the coloring of the pots, and it has lights on it, which you would think Christmas, but I think once you put them on there and you put all the other birthday stuff around them, and once I colored in the banner in more of a birthday theme or a party theme, it kind of lends to being able to be used for other things as well, other than Christmas. So, Nicole really tries to make sure that the stamp sets that she makes are very versatile. And so that's why I wanted to show you guys that you can use a lot of her stamp sets in other seasons as well, or for other occasions as well. And so here I'm finishing up the coloring. And I'm going to go in also and fill in all of the little lights as well. I've had a really busy week this week. I'm so glad that I was able to sit down and get this voiceover done, because I don't know if anybody else is just having a crazy week, or, gearing up for holiday things and, school festivities and field trips and stuff like that. So it's been a really crazy week, and I just really hoping that it slows down here pretty soon, so that I can catch back up on all the things I need to do. So the Distress ink markers have two ends to them. One is a kind of like a painter's nib, and then the other nib is like a pen nib. So I was able to use that smaller nib to go in and fill in those little lights. Now we are moving on to cutting out the images for the balloons, and I'm just showing you here that I'm using my paper cutter to cut that out of some Bristol Smooth cardstock again. And I've got all my little pieces here. And the cool thing about this stamp set is that it's a kind of a layering stamp set. You can use the outside layer to do the outline, and then you can do the inside layer to fill in the inside. But there's also so many other techniques that you can do with that as well. So hopefully pretty soon I'll do a video on that also. And so now I have them all stamped up and ready to start coloring, and I didn't apply enough of it, but I was showing you here that I put a little bit of repositionable tape on the back of some of these die cuts, and that holds them into place so that you can color them, but I didn't put enough of it on some of these. But anyway, it's a really great tip for when you have something cut out already and you're trying to color them in. Put a little bit of repositionable tape on the back, or it can be regular tape actually, you know, as long as you can peel it up without it damaging your surface. Because these dies that come with this set are closed dies, it's kind of hard to see exactly where the lines are. So this is just an easier way to work around that. And so again, just putting some of that color around the outside, pulling it out. I'm barely putting any color, and then I pull it out a whole lot. And so that's what gives you the really soft effect that I have going on here. And so now we're going to be moving on to the construction of the card itself. And I'm going to cut a hole in the middle of the cardstock here, and that's going to create a window towards the inside of the card. So I'm going to cut a panel here of this light blue cardstock that's going to go on the inside of the card, so that when you can see through the window, you'll see into the back of this pretty blue colored cardstock. And I did use a circle die and a rectangle die to pull that off. And so this is the basic layout of the card here. And so I'm just going to take some adhesive and place that into the center. And there you have it. I've got the construction phase of the card set into place here. And so now I'm going to take the elements that I've already colored up and also do the stamping as well. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment with the Celebrate stamp that comes in the birthday stamp set. And I'm going to stamp that right in the middle there. And that VersaFine Onyx Black ink is really, really great and a crisp ink, and I always have a great impression the first time. And I'm also using the stamp blocks that I got from Sweet Stamp Shop. So those are really fantastic stamp blocks. They're definitely the best stamp blocks that I have in my stash. They're nice and thick, and you can get a good grip on them. So they're fantastic for little stamping and any kind of stamping really. And so now I'm just trying to figure out, you know, the layout of the card, trying to figure out what looks the best and what doesn't cover up that sentiment there in the back. And obviously I have that banner that goes across one cactus to the other, and so I wanted to be able to really utilize that banner and kind of showcase the banner and make it kind of stand out. And so I think I kind of figured out where I want everything. The layout is looking pretty good. And so I'm just going to start putting everything together and gluing everything down, being sure to only put glue on the areas that will be attached to the paper so that you didn't get it stuck to the inside of the card, because then you wouldn't be able to open the card. Still kind of mapping it out, making sure that I don't cover any areas up. And I'm using the liquid adhesive because you're able to move it around a little bit whenever you use that kind of adhesive. And for the final area here, I'm going to pop up these images with some foam tape just to give some variation to the card and some added interest as well. And these are all very simple techniques. If you don't have a die cutting machine, that would be kind of the only area that would be a little bit harder. But what you could do is cut out a circle. Instead of creating a window, cut out a circle and put it in the middle, and you can showcase it that way as well. So there's ways around everything, so you don't have to have everything. And now I'm finally adding the balloons, and I'm popping up a couple of them, but I'm also letting some of them just lay down flat as well. and putting those little strings that go with them, gluing that back behind the cactus. I'm putting on that last little balloon. Making sure that nothing is sticking back behind it. And then finally, I put a little bit of distress ink off to the side, which is in a brown kind of gray color. And I'm picking that up with my water brush, and I'm going to create a little shadow with that. And that is really going to help ground the images and not make them look like they're floating in midair. You don't have to do this, but it's definitely a part that I like to add. And that's basically the card for today. I really had a great time making this card, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Make sure that you stop by sweetstampshop.com.